My name is Chris McNish, and I'm a humble guy that the Lord entrusted to write, produce, and direct. Just a humble servant.
Stewart, and I'm 9 years old. I love acting, and I've been doing acting since I was 6.
My name is Brian Cordell. I love acting. I really love acting. And if I'd say how long have I been doing it? Since a kid.
My name is Nancy Stewart, and I have been acting for about a week because that's when Chris McNish talked to me. From our conversation, he realized that my daughter was into acting, and I sent him a clip of her, and he asked her to be in a film. Actually, my husband brought my daughter to rehearsal, and when we were trading out cars, my husband came out and said, "Oh, did you know you're playing the part of the mother?" So it was a bit of a surprise for me.
My name is Anthony Perkins. I am the director for Oakwood University's Media Center. Chris brought me in as a kind of like a media consultant, helping him with the process. He had a vision, explained his vision to me. I could see it right away, got excited about it with him, and so came in just to whatever expertise I could lend him, to lend him that expertise.
My name is Jasmine Wilson. I am a junior at Oakwood University. I am a student worker for Oakwood University Media Center, and mainly I'm an editor here. I was the main editor for the behind-the-scenes footage of the production. Chris gave me the opportunity to just use my own creativity on the piece. Because I'm a student, you know, my main objective is to learn as much as I can. So I truly appreciated him just giving me the raw footage. He actually left the room. Like, he told me a basic line of what he wanted, but he just left the room, he left it up to me, and I appreciated the trust that, you know, I would get the project finished and I would do it well. But it's always a great experience editing for Chris.
You know, my thoughts of the actors that Chris chose was interesting because I was at the beginning of the process and he and I talked about the dream that he had. I could see it on paper. And like I said, I was excited about the dream. But actually, when I got a chance to actually see the actors in action, it really was a culmination of the dream. You could see that they were actually acting out the dream, and it was amazing to see. Brian, as an actor, was very intense in his delivery. He was playing against a young lady who was so innocent and so sweet that you could just tell that the dynamics of their interaction was going to be just dramatic. But when we got into the editing situation, that's when really the dynamics of the program really came to light.
I would say post-production was easy when I started off. I put my bins together, I put everything together, but when it came to the time where I had to put everything on my timeline, I looked over at Mr. P and I told him that it looks like I don't have enough footage, and I started to worry. So Mr. P came over and he looked at what was going on. And if anyone knows Mr. Perkins, he starts to smile before he tells you of an idea that he has.
We actually saw a deeper story that was unfolding before us, and it was amazing because Chris and I kind of looked at each other like, oh my goodness, we're seeing something that's deeper than we even thought about. There were two separate individuals separately acting, but yet as the story progresses, you see the connection, how the connection is made.
Why don't we shoot them separately? Why don't we shoot Richard by himself and shoot Micah by herself?
If you watch it, it starts off as two individuals sitting on a bench and they're isolated. As the production goes on, you see them become closer and closer together until at the end, even the shot selection shows them together as one unit.
At the point when she says, "You want to hear a joke?" that's when Micah gets Richard to come into her world. God just worked that out. He spoke through Mr. Perkins, and I thank God for both of them.
Betsy is a phenomenal actress. I believe that Betsy is the person to watch. She's up and coming. I'm expecting to see within the next several years Betsy literally on the silver screen. I mean, she is a phenomenal actress. I watched her as she progressed under Chris's leadership. She's a raw talent. She has the natural ability, but I watched as Chris directed her to get out of her what he needed to get out of her. And he was tender with her, he was gentle. Sometimes he would pull things out of her. He'd kind of slow her down because she was kind of acting and not in the moment. And he would pull it, slow her down, and allow her to be in the moment. And I think that made all the difference in the production.
Wow, she's an awesome talent. She blew me away the first time we met and we went over lines. She made me step up my game. She just has so much energy and life. And so she really motivated me and inspired me. It was an exciting experience to meet her.
Betsy is not your typical little girl. When it comes to acting, you know, one thing that I depend on actors is to follow direction. And one thing that Betsy does is she follows direction well.
I like working with Brian because he's funny when he forgets his lines.
I thought he had a good chemistry with Betsy. They seemed to genuinely enjoy working with each other, and when she said his lines for him, he didn't seem to get too upset, so that was good.
Brian embraces every emotion on the film, and he takes direction well. When it comes to him getting into character, I don't have to wait on him to get into character. Brian is always ready.
Brian is an intense person, number one. I know Brian personally, so I know he's an intense person. What he brought to this production was an intensity and a feeling that I think that people who are going through problems or going through their own situations will relate to immediately. You could feel his frustration, you could feel his solitude, you could feel the part he was playing. And it was interesting because as he made that transition, and when you watch it, you'll see it, as he makes that transition, he acts out that transition, and you feel that load being lifted off of him. So I think that Brian was an excellent actor in that position.
I really can relate to Richard because like Richard, I experienced the same thing about 4 years ago. I would say that I was at the height of my career. I had just gotten a job at a television station as a news anchor, and a year and a half into the job, within a matter of minutes, getting off the air, I was laid off. And I remember the emotions that I felt after losing the job and then going months into being unemployed. The emotions just got more and more intense. So as I read the script, I really could relate to what Richard was experiencing.
Man, let me tell you about my crew. Everyone in the crew volunteered. I mean, you have Sean, Josh, Mike, Eloise, Kyle, Monique, and Amanda. I just can't thank them enough for what they've done for me. And I couldn't have done it without them. I mean, in the hot sun for about 5-6 hours. From the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you so much. How do I fund each project? I would pull out my pockets right now, but you would probably see that I have nothing in there. And every project that I do, and what people might not understand is, you know, I come out the pocket. You know, a project can be a minute long. A project can be 30 seconds. In the film, you won't be able to see how many people actually worked in the film, but it was a good amount of people that were there. And, you know, I have to take care of everything in the production. So it's everything comes out of my pocket, pretty much what I'm trying to say. I would have to say that my wife and my daughter are my #1 supporters, and I have a special wife. It takes a special person to deal with a person that works 40 hours a week and then focus on their ministry 40 hours a week. And my wife is patient, she's encouraging, every time that I get discouraged about a project, instead of her saying, well, you know, just go ahead and give it up. You can spend more time with us. But my wife is like, no, God gave this to you. You have a purpose and you need to do it. My little girl, Dylan, she's always encouraging me, saying, Daddy, I love your work. She always has a joke. She always knows what to say when I'm discouraged. She might not understand why she's saying what she says, but she always has something to say that encourages me, that makes me smile. And to tell you the truth, I don't know how they deal with it, because I put a lot of time in what I do, and they're very encouraging. And I couldn't ask for a better wife. I couldn't ask for a daughter that loves me so much and encourage me the way that they do. Want to Hear a Joke deals with suicide. You might not reach that point where you want to commit suicide, but everyone's had that rough time in their life where it's like, is my life worth anything? Want to Hear a Joke is a simple question. Why did the chicken cross the road? The fact that it was a simple joke was the reason that I used a little girl, because they don't take life so seriously. And a lot of times we take life too seriously. And so just by making someone smile, just by making someone laugh, just by inspiring someone could change someone's life. It all entails why I do Sweet Gap Productions, just to make someone smile, just to make someone laugh, to inspire someone. And that's the whole basis of it, is that the things that we do, we can affect others' lives. And Sweet Gap Productions is about affecting others' lives in this world that where a lot of things are going wrong. There's a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow, but you can inspire the masses by telling a story. And to tell you the truth, that's what Jesus did when he came down here to earth. He told these parables. He told these simple stories that had meaning in them. The story is so simple, but it was impacted with so much meaning that everyone in that crowd could pull something away from it. And from there, make the decision. Make the decision to be inspired. Make the decision to aspire to inspire other people.
I enjoy working with Chris. I think that he did a very good job directing Betsy and putting up with the non-experienced mother that he cast in the role. And I also, really the mission that he's trying to move forward, I think is so important.
He's fun to work with.
Chris, if I can sum him up in one word, passion.
Chris McNish, passion, drive, and determination. Just like Micah, he pushes you and he makes you want to do the best that you can do. And he's just an inspiration, a real inspiration.
He's such I don't say ball of energy. Like, his ideas are always off the wall, and they're always just coming all the time. And to be able to feed off that energy and then sometimes hit him with my own ideas, and he gets excited, and everybody in the room is just excited. So I've always enjoyed working with Chris McNish. He's always very focused. If he has an idea, he's going to execute it, and it's gonna be well done. It's never gonna be mediocre or anything like that. So he takes everything he does very seriously, and I truly appreciate that, especially as a student who's trying to get into the field of production. To have a coworker and a mentor who's just very focused is always a privilege.
Chris is a person who follows his passion. And I've seen Chris, there have been times when obstacles have come in the way. And I've watched him as he's matured, how he's handled those obstacles so that his passion can come forth. I'm really inspired by Chris. And I made a decision that no matter what would happen, I would always support him. Because he's a young man who's following his passion. It was the best thing, one of the best things that ever happened to our media center was for us to get Chris as an employee in the Oakwood University Media Center. It has been such a blessing. Chris McNish is talented, he is creative, he's determined, he's focused, he is passionate. He's a go-getter. He is really a phenomenal person. And to be able to work with him, to be able to be around him, to be able to be involved in his productions, truly has helped me to up my game.
I would love to work with Sweet Gap Productions again in the future because I like the mission that they stand for, and I've really enjoyed working with Chris and his entire crew.
I'm actually looking, when Chris gets big, you know, I'm actually looking for it to be a key part of my career. And so when he watches this interview, I'm hoping he'll remember this moment right here.
Would I work with Sweet Gap Productions? Come on, of course. The main reason over the years that I've done things with Sweet Gap, it's a ministry, and everything that Sweet Gap does has a message that touches lives, that gives people hope, and that's what I'm about. I'm not just about entertaining people. I refuse. If I can't inspire someone, give someone hope, and ultimately show someone Jesus Christ, I can't do it. So that's what I like about Sweet Gap, because Sweet Gap stands for all of that.
Hi, my name is Betsy Stewart.
Brian Cordell.
Nancy Stewart.
Jasmine Wilson.
And this has been
another Sweet Gap.
Sweet Gap.
Sweet Gap production.
Let's touch the world one story at a time.
I just want to thank my GoFundMe supporters. My $25 supporters, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. My $50 supporters, thank you for allowing me to do this. My $100 supporters, I wouldn't be able to do it without your generous donation. And my $250 supporters, you are my associate producers. That's Calvin and Kathy Mann, that's Dorian and Ty Stamp, that's Monica Gilmore and Dr. Edwin Matthews. Thank you so much. I am humbled to do this. You're allowing me to touch the world one story at a time.